Everybody, welcome to PBA Radio. It's Chris Guns. My guest today is brand new Showtime commentator, Mark Too Sharp Johnson. Catch up with Mark and see how he likes his new gig. Mark Too Sharp Johnson, thanks for joining us, PBA Radio, man. Appreciate your time.
Oh, always a pleasure, Chris.
Mr. Hall of Fame, you got your wish, you got your commentating job. How'd you like your job last weekend?
Oh man, it was a dream come true. It's something definitely that I thought that I'll take years and years to get to that point, but I was able to get the call, and I think what I did, I felt very comfortable in there and very, very comfortable outside the ring as well.
What did you think about your new Showtime partners? You got Al Bernstein and Barry Tompkins.
Oh man, it was just such an excitement moment, just to be around those guys, the guys who I've been watching my whole life, and as well they've probably been watching me. But guys that I really idol, Jim Gray and guys like that, Barry Tompkins, of course. Al Bernstein is a great guy who went in the Hall of Fame with me. So of course it was great. It was great.
And what do you have to say about your 2012 in junior? You get inducted in the Hall of Fame, and now you get the job you've been looking for, commentating. How exciting has 2012 been for you?
Oh man, 2012 has been very exciting for me. And I tell people all the time that this is not me. I'm living a man dream upstairs. He put me in this position to do things like that, and I'm taking heed to it and very humble about the situation. And I like to move forward and doing more and more things around boxing, as well as making some different things to change boxing around and just move in the safe part of boxing and focus on it.
And we all know what happened with Antonio Tarver. He was really good at commentating those, so you got some big shoes to fill. Do you have any nerves having to put on the new hat now?
Well, and me and Antonio are great friends. I didn't have any nerves. Of course, I was just ready to do it. I was so excited. And, I knew that this was something that I always wanted to do for a long time. So I was ready. Of course, Antonio Tarver does have some big shoes to fill, only because he wear like a 12 and I wear like a 7. But I was very excited, and I know that Tarver was very excited for me as well. I spoke to Buddy McGirt, and they was very excited to have a guy like me coming on. And, of course, like they said, if anybody is going to start taking over or start working a job, of course, it has to be a Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Perfect choice, Showtime. And what would you think of your first fight that you called, the main event? You had Lucas Matisse and Jose. What did you think of it?
Lucas Matisse and Lucic and Jose. I think it was a great fight. I think I loosened up a lot in the beginning, in the end as well, and I just had fun with the mic. Of course, everybody was used to saying when a guy get hurt, he needs to get on his bicycle, and I said, well, I need to come up with something different. So I said, he needs to get on the skateboard. He's on the skateboard, ladies and gentlemen. He stopped moving. Oh, the wheel must have came off the skateboard, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to be humor, funny as well, and just come out with some different cliches that people haven't heard. My job is, when I'm dealing with boxing and dealing with commentating, my job now is to make a young lady, and I say young lady, at the age of 75 and 80, who may not know what a jab is. My job is to be able to explain it, so when she finishes watching that fight, she'll know what a jab is.
Yeah. And did you think about when they make a video game yet, you'll have your cliches in the video game?
and that's one of the things. I was on Knockout Kings in 2000 when it first came out, and that's one of the things I'm looking forward to again. I'm sitting down and talking to EA Sports and trying to get back on the games, most importantly, and everything. It's for the kids. I want the kids in Washington D.C. all around the world, to see me and say, look. I was one of those guys. I was that guy that, came from D.C. I was a guy that had the same dream you all had. But I'm here to let you know that these dreams can come true. So everything that I do, most importantly, is for the kids. Today we had a amateur show, started in D.C. I had one of my heavyweights who's coming along very good, got a second-round knockout, and he's been doing wonderful things. So I'm always constantly around the kids.
Wow. And tonight's a big boxing night. What do you see happening in the Canelo Alvarez Josecito Lopez fight?
Wow, I'm one of those guys. I never want to spoil anything. So, of course, I'll say it's going to be an interesting fight. Josecito Lopez has a lot going for him. This guy, wow, his dad passed and his trainer passed, and he wasn't supposed to be Ortiz and Genie in the bottle. And this guy's he's coming to fight again tonight. What I like about Canelo Alvarez is he's one of those guys that he's not interested in knock all the time. He'll take his time and beat you up, and until you get a 12-round decision. So that's what I like about Canelo. But I think leading down the stretch, I think Canelo.
Yeah, and same night, same city. What do you think about that? What do you think about them having two big cards in the same city on the same night? Think it ruins it for the fans who can't see both?
Well, I think it does. But the Chavez fight is sold out. I'm not sure how the Canelo fight is, but I think it does. I think you want to have fights like that, back to back. I wouldn't have them on the same day, but of course you have one on pay-per-view and you have one on Showtime. So I guess a lot of people say, well, do I really want to order this, or do I just want to watch a great young fighter in Canelo? And I just wish that. And you look at the Canelo Alvarez, you got to look at Johnny Gonzalez, that guy who beat me, who's fighting Daniel Ponce de Leon. Then you have to look at the show with Irk Morale, who's fighting this guy. So Showtime has an action-packed night tonight.
Yeah. And then HBO too. What do you think about Martinez Chavez? What do you don't like to ruin fights?
That's gonna be a bomb burner. I don't think Chavez has fought any guys that's so as elusive as Martinez. I think Chavez might, walk into a lot of shots and get hit. But I look at the youth, and I think Chavez is just too big and too strong right now.
Now, you had a tough trainer. You had your father, Ham Johnson. What do you think Ham would do if you did what Chavez did with Freddie Roach and tells him he's going to be at the gym at a certain time? Freddie's at the gym, and then Chavez don't show up, and then he wants Freddie to come to his hotel room, and they make like a room like it was a ring, but it's not a ring, and they do the pads there. What do you think your father would say to you if you tried that?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't really know, no trainer that'll deal with that. But, I learned from a guy in Washington, D.C., who was a mentor to my dad named Bobby Brown. Mm-hmm. Bobby Brown used to train Darryl Turtle, T. Tyson. Mm-hmm. And, Darryl tell Bobby, I'll be in the gym at 10. If Darryl's not in the gym at 10:02, Bobby's gone. Or, we're not training. We're going to do it later on. First of all, you have to be a man of your word. It's the biggest fight of your life. Why are you training in the hotel room? It's the biggest fight of your life. Yeah. And I think that, when you have guys in situations like that, sometimes is the bright lights in Vegas going to zap them, or is it going to get Chavez energy?
Mm-hmm.
You had
I'm sorry.
One of the guys from Washington, D.C., who was in camp with Chavez. So he said Chavez has been working good. And so I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. But my dad wouldn't go for that. I'll just be honest with you. My dad wouldn't go for that because that's BS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine.
So, Jerry, let the Chris go to somebody tell you, man, you screwed that.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't sail. Wouldn't go.
Hey, guess what? I don't know who's buying it because it's still not going to sell.
No. Nope. Not going to fly with Emmanuel Stewart. Yeah.
Chavez had, since even being with Freddie, he had some small stuff, even with the conditioner guy. Mm-hmm. And Freddie, with the guy who does the conditioner, then he had something else done with Freddie. So, you got to be humble to be in a situation like this.
Mm-hmm. And with the Ward Dawson fight last weekend, that came into question.
Exactly. And these opportunities don't come around every day.
What do you think of strength and conditioning coaches? What's your opinion of fighters using them?
To be honest, I don't know. I never had one.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people...
I never had one. I never had a nutritionist. I never had all this stuff outside that the kid have today. I never had all that. As far as strength and conditioner, I guess it's to each his own. Maybe it works, maybe it don't work. Do it takes away from people's boxing skills? I'm not sure, but I never have them, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, Chris.
Yeah. What's your opinions of Andre Ward and his performance against Chad? And do you think it was more Andre's genius, or do you think it was a combination of maybe how good Andre is and how dead Chad was at the weight?
Well, I'll tell you straight up, from making weight, it kills you. You leave your fight in the sauna, you leave your fight in the steam room.
Yeah.
But one thing I tell people is that when you accepted it, don't make an excuse about the weight. You proposed this fight. You said you'll move down. And if it's out, you're not. You asked me.
Yeah.
Not to mention, people doesn't really give Andre enough credit of how good he's a boxer.
Nope.
Andre is a great boxer. He can switch. He can go in and out. And you don't see that today. Andre is the perfect guy of hit and don't get hit. I think Andre's performance was great. I'm not going to take nothing away from Andre's performance about him making weight or none of that. I'm not going to take it from Andre's performance. So Andre done a great job. What I told people for years was that I like Chad Dawson. Chad Dawson, a big light heavyweight, southpaw. That gives you that they already give you full marks that people don't want to fight you. But what I've seen when watching Chad was that he let people hang around too long. So I'm asking myself, does Chad have killer instinct, or do he just want to perform in these fights? And that's what I've been questioning every time I see Chad. If he had this killer instinct, a lot of these guys wouldn't have been around.
Yeah. He is a nice guy, and you can't fight that way all the time.
Exactly.
And what did you think of the same night you had Vitaly Klitschko fighting? What is your opinion on Vitaly Klitschko? I get a lot of people that say the Klitschkos are just in a weak era. What does the great Mark Johnson think about Vitaly Klitschko and Vladimir too?
Well, my honest opinion is that right now, I don't think they have the skill set of a Muhammad Ali, a Rick Bowe, a Evander Holyfield, Larry Holmes. But they're in a division now that they're just so big. They're just so bigger than everybody else. And that's why they're beating so many people. They're just so big. It's almost like advantage taken how big they are, how much they weigh. I think right now is an era that, yes, we don't have that many heavyweight fighters, but everybody, they doing exactly what you do. Everybody you put in front of me, no matter how big or how small they are, I'm going to get them out of here. And it's just right now that nobody can beat them, not because they're that good, but just because they're that big. And we don't have no big heavyweights around anymore.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the Klitschko documentary that they made?
I didn't, and people told me about it, and they told me about the Don King thing. And, I'm very excited to see that, and I laughed about the piano thing. Because, you know, when I have friends that come me over, I do that with my piano. They told me about the piano. and I have an automatic player on mine, and people come in the door, and they think I'm playing the piano. And, you know, people told me about that was one of the things that stopped them from signing with Don, just from, you know, that right there.
Yeah, it comes off as a shyster if they catch him. You know?
Exactly. But, boy, can you imagine if Don King would have had those guys? Can you imagine with HBO, Showtime, pay-per-view? Yeah. So, got to sit down with Don when you know he has the two biggest and the best heavyweights. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
I like to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Yeah, same here, man. And we mentioned Andre Ward. He's the last gold medalist. Did you catch the Olympics at all this year?
Well, you know, I caught the Olympics, but, you know, what I tell people is that right now, you have so many kids turning pro at the age of 16 to 17 years old. You have Mayweather's, Al Heyman and Sam, those guys. They see these kids 16 to 17, and they say, hey, you know, forget the Olympics. Ever since the 2000 scene, I don't think the Olympics even care about boxing anymore.
Yeah.
In the United States, if you had a gold medal, you was just set aside, and you was that guy, or you went to the Olympics. You was that guy who was getting signing bonuses, and you was moving forward. Now, people saying, well, I need the money today. So you have so many kids at the age of 16, 17 signing deals, $75,000 signing bonus, $50,000 signing bonus, the money that they probably wouldn't see. So, hey, that's why the United States team was weak.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the fighters turned pro.
Yeah, and they don't have any international contests really anymore. You know, they don't. You hardly ever see a fighter with over 100 fights anymore. They usually have about 30, 40, 50 at the most.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things.
And once again, you know, like you said, once again, you know, we seeing these guys and these people come around with this money. They're signing. They got, like you look at Mayweather and Al Heyman, and they have so many great fighters. I mean, well, you know, a lot of them have remained to be great until they prove themselves, but they have so many fighters now that, you know, they're running the game between Golden Boy, Mayweather, and Al Heyman, and 50. They're running the game. I mean, they're running boxing. You know, and these guys are, you know, around. They're not, you know, the one-trick pony. These guys are around, and these guys are getting their fighters fights. And, hey, you know, and that's what it's about. Most importantly is that you have two fighters who was fighters, so they know how to treat fighters.
And we talked about how great your 2012 was. It's not even close to being over yet, really. What else could Mark Johnson pull off by January?
Oh man, you know, I don't know, but as long as it's positive, I think I'm going forward with it. And most importantly, is getting back on Showtime October 20th for the Malignaggi fight at New York. And then, you know, I'll start moving around from there. You know, and I'm working on a book as well as a documentary. And you know, 2012 is going to be a wonderful year. 2013 is going to be another great year, just like 2012 was, and it's not over. And I'm looking forward, you know, to doing bigger and better things. You know, I want to start my own boxing website as well. I want to also, you know, incorporate with things like that, what you're doing, and does interviews like that and things like that. And I just want to be around and be involved with the sport of boxing on the better half and on a great note. You know, and what I mean by that is, you know, you got to look at the NBA, the NFL. They have one president. Boxing is the only sport that wherever you go, you have a different commissioner and you have different rules. So I look forward to trying to work with something like that as well as a fighter's pension. You know, once fighters is not fighting anymore, at the end of the day, if you can't make the promoters or the managers no money, then, you know, they don't want to deal with you. And you have so many fighters that left their blood, sweat, and tears in the ring. And after their career's over, if you don't fight, you don't make money. And a lot of these guys are hurt. A lot of these guys are walking bad. You know, and we need to try to help these people who paved the way for me to become a world champion. I like to be involved with something like that. But, you know, with so many organizations, so many belts, you know, who really want one president?
Yeah. And Showtime did themselves a favor. You still got all your marbles, and you still got your Hall of Fame fighter. I mean, sky's the limit, I think, for you. How do your fans reach out to you and get a hold of you? Are you on Twitter, Mark?
I'm on Twitter at Mark2Shop.
Mark2Shop.
You know, and of course I'm on Facebook, Mark2Shop Johnson. You know, so I'm very accessible, and I want my fans and everybody to know that, you know, I'm gonna be around. I'm a funny guy. I like to have fun. You know, I talk trash all the time, but I'm down to earth. And you know, a lot of people, y'all can follow me on Twitter at Mark2Shop, and as well as Facebook. And you know, I'm just enjoying life right now, Chris.
Yeah, the great Mark2Shop Johnson. Thanks for your time, Mark. Appreciate it, sir.
Anytime, Chris. Anytime. You have the number locked in. Call me anytime. Any fights, I'm here.